Hello, creative friends. This is Joy. So this is part two of a couple of videos that I made showing how I created this junk journal. The first part was actually putting together the journal itself with all the pages, and you can go back and watch that. And now this one is how I go through and decorate and fill this journal, decorate the cover, and all of that good stuff. So here I have four signatures of 10 pages each, and I decided to put in each signature two square pockets and two rectangle pockets. And so I'm putting a square pocket and a rectangle pocket in the front of each section, and a square pocket and a rectangle pocket in the back section of each signature. So because I have four signatures, then I ended up having to cut 16 square pockets and 16 triangle pockets in order to fill this journal. And I will also need to make 32 tags, because I want to put a tag in each pocket. And so after I went through and added my pockets to all of the sections, which, it was pretty much the same thing over and over again, I decided on what paper that I wanted to use for the outside of the journal. And so I have this scrapbook paper that I thought would really be pretty on the outside of this journal. And I actually made two junk journals, out of, as I said in the first video, out of a lot of ephemera that a friend of mine had given me. And I thought it would be nice to make a junk journal, because I wanted to make a junk journal out of packaging and stuff and the papers that she gave me. And I thought it'd be nice to make her one too. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to make two journals, but I'm showing you in this video how I went about decorating her journal. And I'll show you at the end a flip through of her journal and then a flip through of mine. I didn't do as much to the one I made for myself, just, as what I did with hers. A lot of, the pockets and the tags and things were the same, as you'll see, but I added a lot more to hers as far as ephemera, because I can always add more to mine later. So I was not all that concerned about doing, all of that in mine. So again, I like this scrapbook paper, and I thought it'd be really pretty on this journal. And so I'm just cutting the pieces down to size, as you see me here. And I'm using Fabri-Tac glue to glue it down. And then this piece is for the spine to cover, where I sewed in the signatures. And then on the front cover, I already added a piece from the items that she had given me. So when I added it at the time, I didn't know, what I was going to do for decorating the journal. Excuse me. And I decided to decorate it with the scrapbook paper. So then I was like, okay, so what am I going to do with that piece I put on the front? Am I going to just, delete it or cover it? Cover it up with the pattern paper, or add like a piece of the pattern paper to kind of do a layered up effect, which is what I ended up doing. So here on the tab part, excuse me, I needed to take a sip of water. My goodness, dry throat. On the tab part, I wanted to cover both sides of, the tab part with this pattern paper. And I could have, before I added the pocket to the front and the back, I could have on the inside there, I could have covered those two with pattern paper, but I like seeing the raw material of the packaging that I used for this journal. And I just wanted to, make the outside pretty. So um, I thought adding this pattern paper would be nice. I did her journal a lot more colorful, you could say, and mine is more, I kind of did a lot more muted colors and kept it more vintagey because I think she would appreciate something with more color to it. And so I thought this would work really good, really, well with this journal. So I'm measuring the front to see how big of a panel I want to put on the front. I want to cover those holes, but I also want it to be even all the way around where you still see that paper so she can see that I used some of the paper that she gave me. And then I cut down a piece that would fit inside of that so that I could do like a layering on the front of the journal here. And again, I just used some Fabri-Tac glue to glue that down to the journal. And I do end up doing more decorating on the front of this journal, which you'll see that. And the corner, the one corner, the top corner was kind of bent over. So then I decided, maybe I could add some like little metal corners to these two corners just for decoration, one, and for two, to try to sturdy up that top corner. And plus it'll help protect the corners as it's being used from getting too frayed and raggedy looking, and adds a little bit, you know, of extra decorating to the journal. I had a little bit of a hard time though getting these things on there. Um, I don't know why, but I was trying to crimp them down and they just weren't crimping. I think the paper was too thin or something. I don't know. I guess they expected that you would be putting it on like a book page, a book jacket or whatever, so it would be thicker. Anyway, I did manage to get it crimped down. So the remaining of this paper that I used for the outside, I thought it would be good to use it for tags on the inside, so that way you kind of have some consistency with the journal. So I took the different pieces that were left and I decided to cut them down so that I could use some of those for tags. And then I found other scrapbook paper that went along with, same similar colors, and started cutting those down for tags as well. And I was just trying to see like how big do I want the biggest tag, because I want different size tags. I don't want them all the same size, um, but because I want to do like a large tag and a small tag in each pocket. So actually, I'm going to need, let's see, 4 is 8, 8 and 8 is 16, so I'm going to need 32 tags. So yeah, I decided I wanted 16 large tags and 16 smaller tags. Oh no, actually I needed 34 because there's also a pocket in the front cover and the back cover. So then after I got all the tags cut to the size I wanted them, I decided that I was going to need to back the pattern paper with cardstock because it's really thin pattern paper, whereas the other pieces of pattern paper that I used were much thicker, but for some reason this particular pattern paper was really, really thin, like copy paper, and so I wanted to back it with cardstock, and it would, actually solve two problems. For one, it'd make it a little thicker like I wanted it, and for two, instead of having the stripes on the back of it, it would be a solid so that, my friend could use it for journaling on the back of these tags, whereas the other two pieces of pattern paper that I use, again, they were, much thicker, and the backs of them are already, white, so I didn't have to worry about those. So I made sure I glued all of these down with just some Yoo-Hoo glue stick, and then cut them out again once they were dry. And just checking some of the corners didn't glue down as well as I had hoped. Then I went through and I cut one corner and then used that to cut the other corner so that the corners matched, and then I used the first one to do that to all the other pieces that I had cut for tags. And I like, I do have a lot of tags that I've bought, but I like making my own tags because I could customize them to the journals that I'm making. So I really like, being able to customize tags, and they're easy enough to make to the journal that I'm actually making. So I went through and I did that on all of the tags that I made. I cut all the corners so that they would all have the tag shape. And then these bigger ones, I just stacked them up and cut them. Then I got a hole punch and then punched holes in them all. Simple enough. And then I got the corner rounder and rounded the corners. I just wanted to show you what I was doing for these tags, and then I, off camera I finished the rest of them because I'm like, you guys would be here all day if I had that all in the recording. So I have all of these different yarns or ribbons, and so I'm pulling out, a couple of different ribbons that I thought would go, work well with the colors that I'm choosing here and with these tags, and I'm adding those to the tags. So this is how I pretty much make all of my tags. And then the ones I glued to cardstock, I cut those out and do the same with those, so that when I'm done I have enough tags to fill all of the pockets in the journal. So it's almost like an assembly line. So here I have all of my tags made, and this is a lot of the ephemera that she had given me. This is what I have left after making the two journals. And so I'm going through and just deciding on what else I want to put in these pockets with the tags. Because there's a lot of good stuff in here that she gave me, and a lot of it works great for ephemera to go in these pockets. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just sorting through and deciding, and I still have a lot of ephemera left. I know I can make another journal out of all of the papers and ephemera she gave me, but I definitely will still have enough ephemera to fill several other journals. Because, yeah, she gave me a lot of stuff, which is great because really enjoy making journals, and I don't always, get a lot of things. I try to collect things for journaling, but yeah. And some of these things I, didn't use that I pulled out. Some of the things when I went through and started filling up the pockets and stuff, I ended up not using some of the things that I pulled out. But for the most part, there is a lot of good things in here that, you could use for junk journaling and ephemera. So I even went through, I do have some stuff in my stash, and I even found some things in my stash that I decided to add to this pile of ephemera. So once I've gathered up enough papers that I felt like I could use to stuff this journal, then I started stuffing it. So I added a large tag, a small tag, and then some ephemera to each pocket. I did that to the front pocket, the back pocket, and then each one of the um, pockets that I added to the um, different sections. So that's what I ended up doing here, is going through and stuffing the journal with all the ephemera and tags that I made. And then here figured you don't want to see me going through all of that. Anyway, here I pulled out some things out of my stash that I made like in the past that I thought would, you know, work well with this journal and be cute on the front. So I wanted to add some elements of things that I also made. And so I'm gluing these things down to the front to decorate the front of the journal. I think it turned out really cute. And then just add the little antennas for the butterfly. And then I decided that I was going to make some paper clips to paper clip some envelopes. I pulled out some envelopes from my stash. I said that I want to decorate, and I want to make some paper clips, and so I'm looking in my stash for some clusters that I had made previously and deciding which ones I want to use. I want to make a paper clip for each section and a envelope to add some ephemera into. And so that's where I pulled stuff out of my stash to make the paper clips. So I'm just deciding on which, four I want to use. So I take a paper clip, I add it on to a piece of scrap paper, I fold it over, I cut it off, I glue it down. I do that with all the paper clips. I'll add them to the scrap paper, fold over the paper, cut it off, and until I got the four paper clips. And then I use my Fabri-Tac glue to glue them shut, because that seems to work the best. And I guess I changed my mind about something there. And then after gluing them all shut, I added the cluster to each one. And I think I changed my mind again because it looks like I have all three of them that are real similar. And I like the idea of those with the flower on the top because then it can stick out of the top of the journal. And so that's why I kind of like those. Because then when you put them on there, you see the little flower sticking out of the top. I just wanted to look to see how much it was going to stick up. And I guess I did go ahead and use all three of them. So I put those to dry, aside to dry, and then I grabbed the envelopes that I decided that I wanted to decorate to go into this journal. These are some leaves I cut off what I put on the front of the journal, so I thought I'd go ahead and use those in here. on one of the envelopes to decorate that. And then I add some faux stitching around the journal, or around the envelope. And then on the other ones, I decided to pull out my stamps, and these are nature stamps, and went through to decide what stamps do I want to put on these envelopes, and also what stamps do I want to include in the journal, because I also want to do some stamping in the journal on the pages. So that way, again, there's consistency with you know, the elements that I'm adding to this journal. And that didn't stamp as well as I had hoped it would, but I did manage to restamp it without goofing it up too much. So I have several stamps that here that I decided to add a stamped image on each one of these envelopes. And I'm trying to find a gold pen because I wanted to do something with a gold pen and trying to find something gold that I thought would work. And that wasn't really quite the color I guess I wanted to use. So I'm going through, and I have a thing full of different pens, trying to find one that I can use. And these are actually paint pens or whatever, and so I guess I decided to just use this, the brown one. And so then I ended up adding those paper clips and envelopes with ephemera to the journal. And here I'm adding other ephemera to the journal. So this, I want it to be like a flip, and it's a page that I had colored and I didn't get it on there straight. And so here I'm heating up the back so I can get it off of there and reposition it straighter. And then I had several other color pages that were not colored that I decided to add to the journal that she could potentially color, you know, herself later. And so this one, instead of doing a flip, I just glued it straight to the page, because the other one I put it on a page where she might want to write on it, so it'd be kind of neat to have a flip where you can write, you know, flip it up and write and whatnot. But this one here, I don't see her writing on it, and so I just went ahead and covered the whole page. Trying to get it on there straight. And so I add one of these to each section, to, you know, each section of the journal. And so I'm trying to decide where I want to put the next one. And I decided to make this one a flip. And I just took a piece of paper, folded it in half, and then put double-sided tape on the part that I stuck to the back of the picture, and then double-sided tape to stick it to the page. And then again, this one I just stuck straight down to the page. So I tried to put some different things in here that she could, like, you know, actual activities that she could do when she's going through, like using this journal and filling it up herself. I wanted to leave a lot of space for her to add her own writing and elements to the journal, but also add some other activities for her to do. So here I'm showing you the finished journal, and I made a spine dangle. I have a video on how I make spine dangles. I just used some sari ribbon that I wrapped around the journal with a couple beads and a key. I added some lace to the cover there, and then I decorated, you'll see inside, stamped images and stickers and other decorations from my stash that I had created previously. And so you can see here's an envelope. I added one of these to each of the signatures as well. And there's one of the envelopes I made in paper clips, and some ephemera that I stuck inside there. So each one of the signatures got one of those. And then each one got a little glassine bag with some things to color that, you know, she can decorate the journal with, and a few other things, ephemera in there. A bookmark I made for her. And then here's another long envelope, coloring page, some more stamping stickers, an ephemera from my stash, another envelope with a paper clip, glassine bag with a couple more things to color and do. Showing you some of the tags, the back of the tags. So I really hope she likes this journal that I made for her. I think she will. I really like the way it turned out. I think it's really pretty and colorful and neat. And so, yeah, just as a thank you to her for all the ephemera that she gave me a lot. I thought it'd be nice to make her a journal. And then the back cover. And so that's the journal that I made for her. And like I said, I made myself one, but the one I made for myself, as far as decorations, is a lot more muted and more vintagey, because that's the look I like. So here's the one I made for myself. The construction's the same, but it's, you know, obviously different colors. And I didn't put the lace on mine, and I just added a simple butterfly. And then here's the pockets and the stamping and stickers and things that I added to mine. Just very simple. Some ephemera, some tags. Added some paper clips to mine with envelopes that have ephemera in them. Again, a tag that I made from the leftover scrapbook paper that I used on the cover. More stickers, stamps. Another envelope and paper clip. So yeah, that's pretty much the video for today. I really hope that you liked it. I hope she likes her journal. I'll be giving that to her here soon. I think she will. And I appreciate you stopping by and watching my video. You can give me a thumbs up if you like the video. You can also leave me a comment if you have any questions. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Showing you the last couple pages and the back. And again, sorry ribbon that I used to wrap around with a couple beads and a key. So I thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.